say, let's just do it.
I don't know why it does this, but like every time I start recording, the first sentence you say is super loud for some reason.
Yeah, usually for you, it's distorted for me.
That's Skype. What are you fucking doing?
No other program does that.
No, because it makes no sense.
It makes
Skype,
no sense. It makes no goddamn sense.
it just makes no goddamn sense. This whole world's out of order.
You're out of order. You're out of order. You're out of order.
You're out of order.
Like Oprah, like giving away cars. You're out of order. You're out of order. And you're out of order.
That's how you got to do it. You got to live like Oprah.
Living like Larry.
Living like ladies love Larry.
Ladies love Larry. Living like Larry.
It's what LL Cool J stands for. Ladies love Cool J. Ladies love Cool J.
I've been alive for a couple of years. And I didn't
At least
a couple. I'm just learning that.
Congratulations.
I just thought his name was like it just had two L's. Like
No.
Lenny Lebowski or something.
Yep. LL Cool J. His name is Lenny Lebowski Cool J.
Lenny Lebowski Cool J.
Can we get a Big Lebowski remake but with LL Cool J?
Yeah.
All of the same actors.
Good old Lenny Lebowski.
Everyone that can be the same is the same, but we just put LL Cool J in it.
What if we could get Lenny Lebowski as a guest on the podcast?
I mean, that'd be cool. People would be like, yo, did you hear that Lenny Lebowski Cool J? He was on the Protagonist seat, and people would be like, no, yo, Lenny getting the Protag bump. It's my favorite podcast.
Because that's what this is. Segueing into that.
Yes. I also feel like our mediocre following, to say the least, is probably more popular these days than LL Cool J.
That's sad. We're more popular than LL Cool J, than Lenny Lebowski.
We beat out Lenny Lebowski Cool J.
And then he
the man
sees
with
this
the longest fucking name.
And he specifically sees this, and he's got like an inferiority complex or something. So he like picks a fight with us over this, but it only helps to make us more popular.
I mean,
that's what we gotta do. That's how you get clout. You just pick fights with celebrities.
I would feel more secure about picking a fight with Lenny Lebowski Cool J.
Yeah, I'm like, what's he gonna do?
I feel like that's one we can win. No one's coming to that dude's fucking defense. No one's gonna be like, no picking on LL Cool J. They're just gonna be like, who?
But what if we find out he's like the sweetest dude or something? Like, hey, he goes and volunteers at the soup kitchen every weekend.
Then you know what we do? We message him privately and we're like, hey, we know how to bring both of us back into the limelight. LL, Mr. J, you've been out of the limelight for long enough. Pick a fight with us and we'll make everything more relevant. It's a win-win. And then in the public eye, we're feuding, but in the private times, we're best buddies. We go out for ice cream.
We're the Republicans and the Democrats.
Exactly. We're secretly just playing both sides against the middle. And that's how we win. That's how we win fame.
Yeah, we do some dirty, underhanded political tricks.
That's not what we actually do here, though.
We talk about anime here.
We do.
And we talk about...
Specifically...
let me just look at the old hand just to see how many. Yep, still 5.
4 fingers and then that other one.
4 fingers and the one that's a little stubbier than the rest.
I feel like the stubby one is I feel like I can't say it's X-Arm just because of how much of a phenomenon that show is. But it's the cousin that goes on the short bus.
Yeah. But let's start off with Otherside Picnic. I noticed these girls are kind of selfish or like self-absorbed.
Extremely.
Like I did I kind of noticed it in the second episode where that dude gets like the dude they meet in there, the old dude, just dies and they never mention it or anything. And then after this one, they left the girl in the chair in the spirit realm and were just like said nothing about it. They're like, are we? They essentially, without saying it, were like, did we forget something? Nah.
Yeah, we'll just tear a hole through space-time and just go through that. It'll be fine.
We're good, and we're the only ones that matter.
I felt bad for her. She got screwed this episode.
Yeah, she was in basically her fucking, like, pajamas.
I would not want to be in an alternate spirit dimension in bike shorts and slippers, even if I had a shotgun.
All of them are really well armed for Japanese college students.
Yes. I think it helps that they can just go to an alternate dimension where guns, I guess, are just lying around, because fuck it, why not?
They spawn there, and there's glitches, which makes me think that the other side is just a battle royale game.
It's the weirdest battle royale game.
Like, you show up and you have to survive against monsters, but also each other, so... And it's not quite done, which is why the glitches are everywhere, but they still get the spawn points for the weapons.
I mean, that's the important bit. Who cares about stability? Just put weapons everywhere. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, blonde girl disappears because Sarao is like, hey, I don't want to go back to that place where we almost die every time. A very valid complaint, I think.
Yeah, and you know what? It's smart and sensible. And then we find out she's kind of weird because when she's talking to the other girl, because they end up when they get sucked in. We don't need to do plot synopsis. We say we weren't doing that. You're either watching it or you're not. But the part where they're sucked in, where she's talking to her, and she's like, "Yeah, I have a pretty normal childhood. My mom died, and my dad and grandma joined a cult." And then after I had to like live on the streets for a while before getting into college. And then
I took refuge in some ruins.
I like to explore ruins. It's the classic every kid story.
Yeah, stuff that happens every day to everyone. What? Sarao, are you okay? The answer is no.
And then the part where where she's running through the place where everyone looks like plants, and the girl in the chair looks like a plant there too, and she seems to look at her like she knows it's her, but she's willing to write her off as gone like so easily, like, oh, all right.
Yeah, well, I guess that's another one lost. Who cares?
Yeah, the only person I care about is the blonde Canadian. We find out she is Canadian.
Yeah.
That explains why she knows so much about guns.
I guess
she's Canadian. I think they went one country too high.
I don't know. I think it depends on where in Canada, because like
she's from Alberta.
If she's from like Alberta or freaking Saskatchewan, she's probably well versed.
Her parents were in the military.
They're former They act like her parents are fucking Solid Snake and Big Boss.
The Canadian military.
Lady Big Boss. I never played that game. That's the one freaking Metal Gear game I never played.
But yeah, she's Canadian.
Yeah, and that's why she's gun literate. Whatever. Don't worry about it. Don't think about it.
Yeah, she's just Canadian.
Hashtag just Canadian things.
And then after she almost gets taken by the Eldritch Horrors.
Yeah.
I just love the part where she's just like losing her shit. Like she's just staring into the sky and she's just like, I'm sorry. I can't stick around. I have to go. The Ancient Ones are calling.
Yep. She is, spoiler alert, she is abducted by weird eldritch monstrosity.
But then apparently eldritch monstrosities can't stand up to a shotgun blast.
Bullets hurt. I don't know. I got nothing.
I guess that's fair. Take a shotgun in Bloodborne and just barrel stuff. I'm trying to think of the boss names. Abriatus.
Hey, Abriatus, I see you're crying over that spider I killed. Get ready to join him. Man, that boss was hard.
Monster.
You know what? Abriatus. She killed me a lot.
The spider was easy.
Spider is easy.
Rom.
Rom the vacuous spider.
All you have to do for Rom is just strafe constantly left or right, one of them. You just basically have to move around it in a constant circle.
Yeah, and then just attack it a lot. You don't even really, if you pick the axe like any decent Bloodborne player should, you can just like hold your R2 and kill every spider at once. Who cares? Suddenly there's no more ads.
I prefer to use Ludwig's Holy Blade.
Ludwig's Holy Blade is very good.
It's pretty cool.
I feel like the heavier weapons are like the better ones.
Yeah, I didn't really enjoy the sword cane.
No, it looks cool, but using it's just not as satisfying, you know?
Yeah, I want to hear that werewolf's bones break when I hit it.
Hell yeah. But it's not like the Kirk hammer where it's like so wicked slow. Because good God, the Kirk hammer is slow.
I'm going to say one thing about this show. It kind of confuses me at some parts. I don't really know how certain things tie in. Because I'm like, what did the people banging on the door have to do with anything? Like, I knew they were ghosts or whatever, but also there was the man who tells you to go home.
I don't know what that shit was either. I suspect we'll learn who that guy is later. But the people on the door pulled them into the dimension to begin with. That I know.
It's the very, very large woman and the two creepy looking dudes.
Yeah. I suspect, because remember the dude who got super yeeted was
it's the family from What's Eating Gilbert Grapes.
What a pull. What an out there pull. It's true, but like...
Yeah. I mean, I'm not wrong. It's an obscure reference.
I didn't expect it. You never expect to get hit with a What's Eating Gilbert Grape reference. I think those people are like... Because that dude got...
lesser-known DiCaprio films. And Johnny Depp.
Oh, God, I forgot. They were both together in that movie. Jesus. Drop my slinky. I suspect that those people are like the other weird people from the other side.
Well, they always mention something being like, oh, this is an urban legend from the internet. I don't know, because are these real urban legends, specifically like, Japanese only, or are they like made up bullshit?
The big heads I know I've heard before because
some of these I think I've heard before. At least with Inspector, you knew it was all bullshit unless it was a yokai, like one of the actual ones, because then it's like, oh, this is from folklore.
Yeah.
But like big titty steel beam ghost, that's fake.
Steel titty Nanase?
Yeah, steel titty. Steel beams can't melt titty Nanase.
Big titties can melt steel beams.
And it's getting a season 2.
It is. Because it's cool.
Oh, they just announced Goblin Slayer season 2 the other day.
Yeah, I saw that. And I saw you had the perfect quoted tweet for it. Solka. It is perfect.
Yeah, if people follow us on Twitter, they would see my fire tweets sometime.
They would.
And then a shit ton of like art likes and VTuber stuff.
That stuff is also important.
Like an absolute fuck ton.
And you can set it so you don't see likes on Twitter, which is nice. Because I
like
don't
seeing
care.
likes on Twitter, though. Because some people, I follow people who like good art, so I like seeing the art that they follow.
If someone wants to retweet some good art, I'll like that art. But I'm not going to follow someone for the likes. I don't care that much. I get too much stuff on my feed already. There's too much on Twitter, and I need to follow all of it.
All of it.
All of it.
Even fighting game Twitter.
I do follow a little bit of fighting game Twitter, but that's because I have a friend who's really into fighting games, so he's always retweeting fighting game stuff.
There was a video I really liked. I forget where I saw it, but one of my friends shared it. Who's like he was a fan of the Super Best Friends podcast, and it was just like I think Pat and Willie talking to each other, and it's Pat like interviewing Wooly, and he's just like, because you know how their big thing is fighting games, like. Or if you didn't, one of their big things is fighting games. And he's talking to me. He's just like, do you like fighting games? And he's just like, no. Oh well, that's a real shame. It's a big fighting game tournament. What do you think fighting games could do differently that they haven't done in the past 20 years? Work.
That's good shit.
Work.
Those guys are funny.
They are funny. Those are some funny guys. There's a lot of funny guys on the internet.
I like every once in a while I'll go back and I'll watch a Super Best Friends playthrough of something. Usually it's the Silent Hill ones. I don't know why. They play Silent Hill funny.
They play it funny. They play it a little funny.
They play it in a way that's funny. Watching them play Downpour was a lot of fun. Because, like, sometimes the enemies would come out and the enemy design in that game is so bad, they'll just burst out laughing. Because, oh my god.
I realized this show, Silent Hill's a good segue back into this show. Because it has
does
that
feel
sort
like
of...
Silent Hill.
Yeah. I also noticed it's kind of like just kind of a one hub area thing.
Yeah.
It's like they're in this misty air. They're in this, sort of main area, and then they always step out into the mist and then pop out in a new place where it's like, oh, that's here now.
It's like that one building with the elevator is their Firelink Shrine.
Yeah. Because it leads back into her, the Canadian girl's building. Also, somehow while she was out there, she got some weird, like, priestess robe or something, or priestess dress.
I'm gonna take a wild guess and just say it was given to her by whatever weird eldritch monstrosity was trying to bring her into another parallel dimension, but I don't know. Also, we never learn what's up with the plant people. That's just a thing that's just kind of there.
Again, a lot of stuff that doesn't matter or doesn't really tie into anything yet. And
the only thing
I feel like it won't, because a lot of it just feels like episodic. Like, forget about that. This is new thing.
This is a cool atmospheric thing we can throw in. There's plant people. Fuck it.
I realize the best way to enjoy it is sort of view it like they view it. Nothing matters but those two.
Yeah.
Literally nothing matters. Although I really do like the white-haired girl.
Me too. This was a good episode to learn what her deal is.
Yeah.
Basically, she is a super coward, and that's why she never goes into the field. I love how she
explains the science of fear.
Yeah. She explains that she is a coward in the most scientific way possible.
Yeah, basically, she doesn't create enough, endorphins?
Yeah, like the endorphin chains in her DNA is shorter than normal or something, so she experiences fight or flight more intensely or whatever. I don't know. She's a coward. Though. It is. I like science. She's an armchair psychologist, or I guess neurobiologist. I'm down with it though, Sometimes you just gotta watch a person selfishly drag someone else into their problems and then shoot an eldritch monstrosity with a shotgun.
Yeah, it's like, hey, do you want to go? Hey, you have to help me go save my girlfriend. Well, I don't know about that. That's kind of not really my problem. I'm not really a field expert person. Oh,
It's also incredibly dangerous. Well,
well,
what if I brought you
well,
along
since you're
anyway?
here anyway.
Good thing you brought that shotgun.
And then she leaves with the shotgun and leaves her by herself with nothing. Think about how terrifying that is. She just like it's such a weird scene where she's trying to sense where she can find the Canadian girl, and then she just is in a different place. So just imagine being the other girl going like talking to her, and then all of a sudden just boop gone with the
I
shotgun.
I would rather not be left without my weapon, but based on the fact that everyone has weapons in this world, I'll just go into a house and find another one. It's like a battle royale.
Yeah,
Oh man, I got a rare pistol in this house.
but that place was full of glitches too, which apparently like kill you if you touch them. So she's in a bad spot.
Yeah. Well, she says the place is full of glitches and then they never talk about it again. They just kind of move on. And it's like, okay, I guess that didn't really matter.
It kind of reminds me of a plot written by an AI where it like forgets details over time.
Yeah, this episode felt a little bit like it was written by AI Dungeon.
Yeah, where it's like, oh yes, this happens, and there are many bad guys over here. All right, I go over this way. Ah, you've reached the desert inn. I wasn't in the desert.
Well, you're there now. Oh, okay.
In a way, the world kind of feels like it's written by an AI that they're in.
What if that's
Sometimes things
like
that matter. Sometimes, like the big head one, where you're in an empty, abandoned village. As you make a lot of noise, all the monsters that were there wake up. But there were no monsters. We went through several houses.
nope, they're all there now.
They were there the whole time, as well as your brother, the king that you killed.
If I killed him, how is he there? Also, I didn't know I had a brother.
Yeah, that wasn't established in the story. He gets on his spaceship and goes to attack you. But this is a fantasy setting.
I still think my favorite story is one a YouTuber I follow made where Theon Greyjoy needs to fight Robert Baratheon in a horde of zombies.
This is already funny because I know you've never watched Game of Thrones, and just the fact that you start throwing out the names.
I don't. Like I've never seen a single episode, but like
I'm like, it
this
must have
AI
been good if
dungeon
he knows
story,
exactly who it's talking about.
it's so good. Like I've
Uh,
never seen it, but all of a sudden I'm super invested in Theon Greyjoy fighting on the plains of the Split Fork when Robert Baratheon shows up on a Robo Dragon, and it turns out Robert Baratheon is also Theon Greyjoy's dad. Like
and this was done by an AI.
this was some AI writing. It was amazing.
I, I tried like a free trial of AI Dungeon just because a bunch of people were like playing it, so it was kind of getting like hype. And it's just amazing how it'll just sometimes be like it'll sometimes just like, hey, hey, best friend character, let's go investigate this dungeon. As you enter the dungeon, they turn to you and go, now it's time to kill you. That wasn't in their character bio.
Yeah,
You just on a coin flip decided to just change their whole motivation. I mean, you get to
I
reset everything and stuff until you get it how you want it or change the text, but still, it's like for that initial
sometimes
moment, you're like, oh,
sometimes it's just as fun to let weird shit like that play out.
like let it just do what it wants just to see what happens.
Sometimes it'll write itself into a corner.
And it's like the AI doesn't know what to do. It's asking you for help. And it's like, I don't know how
Bro,
you got here. I don't know the
you
mental thought process that led to this point.
you're the one who wrote this.
Are you telling me you got writer's block from your own shit story?
You're a robot. You're invented to not get writer's block.
Why did the princess grow green skin?
I don't know. I thought it would be
It
cool.
never led into the plot, and then everyone just changed their names halfway through.
Robert Baratheon showed up and announced he was my dad.
I'm now picturing, like, imagine making a Game of Thrones isekai story where you get isekai'd into Game of Thrones.
Oh my god.
You play it completely straight, but it's just like, wait a second, this is the world of Westeros.
I've been transported to the world of Westeros. Now
and then
I
because
need
it's Westeros, you get, like, brutally stabbed, your junk cut off, and set on fire.
Yep, because you tried to write a better ending than D&D. And you just get killed instead.
I mean, that would probably be a better ending.
Fair enough. It is not a particularly high bar to beat.
I didn't like it. Hot take, Game of Thrones didn't have a great ending. I know that's going to be controversial.
Gonna get a lot of heat for that one. We should
Boonies
rally
Kid.
up. Exactly. It happened. It happened like we said it would happen.
He shows up and he beats the Demon Lord, but not even really beats him. He just kind of washes him.
He wipes him down with the napkin. I knew that freaking curse-breaking napkin would come back. Because he uses it every episode.
I hope Best Boy comes back.
You mean Best Military Boy?
Yeah, but, like, he ended up... I'm glad he's not gone, but he's, like, kind of gone. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he was shipped off.
Yeah.
I first off, I love the scene when Lloyd encounters him in bug form, and he starts giving this super inspirational speech about, like, his motives and how he wanted to, how the military guy wanted to improve the world. And it starts
and then ruins it by saying, but man, you really shouldn't have gotten drunk tonight. You got way too drunk. That's unbecoming of a military leader.
And then you got super drunk and dressed up in this weird outfit, and now you're being belligerent.
I love the tavern keeper guy, how he just, like, anytime something bad happens to him where he takes a bunch of damage, he's just like, Melophon!
It's very good.
Also, I did get it. I did. I looked through my stuff from when we went to New York, and I did buy the first light novel from Yen Press.
This does not surprise me.
Because
you picked up a lot of those.
Yeah, because they were doing a sale. And, you know, you're at a con, and they're like, the more you buy, the more money you get off. And I'm like, I'm going to buy all of it.
Obviously, I got to buy 30.
I'll take your entire stock.
Shut up and take my money.
It's like, for every one you buy, you get the others a little bit more off. And I'm like, if I buy all of them, they're free. The entire stock.
If I buy everything, they have to give it to me for free. It's in the laws.
But I do have it. But am I going to read it? Probably not, because this is airing right now. And you know what? I feel like the visual comedy kind of helps.
The visual comedy is very good.
I might glance at it. I think I'll glance at it.
It might be worth the passing glance.
Oh, are you reading a book? No, I'm just simply glancing at it. Look at the pages. How trivial.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
They gotta do more light novel audiobooks.
Well, maybe we gotta get into that. Maybe we gotta start reading light novels professionally.
And then I turned to her and went, no way. You're my mom? But also a cat? Wearing bikini armor.
Whoa. What an impossibly lewd scenario this is.
Chapter 2.
Chapter 2 of I Can't Believe My Mom is a Cat and also wearing bikini armor.
Oh, how my melancholy high school days have ended.
Part 1, Zenith of Aberrathian.
And then we just got to throw, and then they just throw around like, a bunch of jargon and stuff about like levels up, level up, stats, class.
My mom, in her cat form, tried to tell me how to improve my stats and level up, but I was
It's
just kind
amazing.
of
She's
zoning
already a
out.
level 100 paladin and a level 100 warlock and a level 100 death knight. Meanwhile, I'm just a level 2 villager.
What am I gonna do?
Guess I'll have to buy a slave because that's become a big thing.
Yeah, that's a weird trend.
Slavery is okay as long as you're nice to them.
That feels like it's missing a lot of the inherent points.
Nah,
Feels
it's like that's what you do. You go to another world and you just get a slave harem. But
you
that's
get
okay because they're so nice that it's almost like it's not even slavery. They
almost
want to be there.
almost keyword almost, but it's still slavery.
And it's almost always women.
Almost. That's just, I don't know. Not all tropes can have bits about them.
I mean, at least I guess with Shield Hero it was more like, welp, no one will fight for me, so might as well buy someone to force them to fight for me.
Yeah, this is something I need to do. And then later he tries to release her. And she's like, nah, I'm good.
But then the world has weird writing. But then the author decided he didn't want to do that, so he's like, oh, they get more stats if they do. They get better stats.
Yeah, they get better stats if they're slaves. Author, that doesn't make any sense. Don't worry about it.
On this
Okay.
episode of the author's thinly disguised fetish.
Where's the lie, though? Where's the lie?
Yeah.
That's light novels in a nutshell.
Yeah. Basically, that's all light novels are. It's, hey, here's a generic fantasy plot, and the writer's kink.
They turn their kink into a gimmick.
Yeah, that's their gimmick.
Hey, this is I've lost in another world, but all the girls are feet.
It's not even good, too. It's not like they tried with that one. They were just lowballing it. It's not even as simple as, oh, no one wears shoes. It's just they are.
They are feet. They just are all feet.
There's no effort to disguise it.
They picked that one up because they knew they could market it to the feet crowd. No one had any illusions about where that was going.
I mean, there are some series that do that. There was some manga about a girl who was like, did acrobatics and stuff, but it was all just about how she would only do things with her feet. She didn't use her hands for anything.
Of course.
Yeah. That's where it's not barely disguised. That's just where it is.
That's just where it is. But I personally have a very specific fetish.
Is it straight Shota? Because that seems to what this one is.
No, I was gonna make a joke about low poly models for X-Arm, but this one is super Shotokan though. Boonies Kid is very Shotokan.
Because he's just a very nice, cute boy that all these women are thirsty for.
Yeah. All of them.
All of them. But I really like what they did with Alan. Alan is a pretty cool dude.
Alan's a great dude. I love him.
I thought, hey, this is going to be the dick bully character. Nope.
Turns out he's actually just a cool guy. We get scene.
Yeah, where... in the part. Yeah, now he's just all like, Lloyd don't know.
Yeah, because Alan is cowering, and then Lloyd just shows up and is like, "Hey, man, you're a soldier. You're stronger than I am. You don't have to be afraid of nothing."
It's amazing too because he sees his legs shaking, like he sees Lloyd's legs shaking, and then is like, "Wow, this guy's so scared, but he's just able to fight all these monsters, and he's not even thinking about the bugs he's fighting."
Yeah, he just like bats them. A bug shows up, and Lloyd is literally like, "Hey, this conversation is more important," and he flicks it away. It's good. The comedy in this show is very good. This is a
Yeah,
funny fucking show, dude.
and I'm glad the tavern dude is a teacher now.
Yep. He re-enlisted in the military and is now a teacher, so we have all
Yeah,
our favorite dudes together, except
he's
for
yeah
military man.
he's working now with the chick that hits people.
The chick that hits people. Oh,
Yeah,
clipboard lady.
yeah, clipboard lady. That's her
That's
gimmick.
how
She
I
gets
remember
mad and
her.
hits you.
She hits people. She kicks tavern keeper dude in the nuts. A very bold move.
All because he insinuated that she may or may not have liked the other guy.
You know what? I kind of think she does.
Yeah.
If I had to guess, if I had to lay my money down on the line, I'd say she probably digs him.
I do hope he comes back.
Me too. I
He was
feel
fun.
like
I liked his
I
interactions with the robot arm girl or the metal arm girl.
yeah. I feel like he's got to come back.
Design wise, she's my favorite.
Arm girl?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's cool.
Yeah, she is neat.
She actually like has, I think it's just a prosthetic arm, because I think she's missing her arm from the elbow down.
Yeah, it's the whole thing. It's like
And
Edward Elric, just right at the joint.
yeah, that happens.
Oh, and we
I
find out that the belt princess is impervious to attacks.
Because the belt that was wrapped around her head is supposed to be like a legendary artifact that protects its user against all ill intent and curses and stuff.
And I like how she actually wants to get beat up for a little bit. That's her. I thought that was pretty funny that was her plan to get Lloyd to show up.
Yeah,
Because
she wanted.
the hero always shows up after the heroine is in trouble. So she even says to the crazy version of Mellowfan, "Yeah, go ahead and mess me up a little bit. Maybe some partial nudity. That's all fine."
Yeah, tear up my clothes a little bit. She calls it Operation Light Nudity. It's
But of course,
very
while
good.
she's standing there waiting to get hit, there's no way he can do damage because the belt just deflects everything.
It's a pretty good belt. I'd be
Better
pretty
belt than my
stoked.
belts.
My belts never come to my defense. I use them for offense.
Oh. I just picture you're mad at work sometime, and then you just take off your belt, and then you start for some reason I picture you have two, and you just start doing like the dual whip thing, like the bad guy in the second Iron Man film.
Just with my belts, just
With
it's what I do.
All right, fine. You could go home early. Stop.
You don't need to use vacation time. Someone will punch you out at 3:30. They better. That's good shit.
It is good. No, it was and once again something this week.
Fucking something.
X-Arm. Holy shit, the whole horse guy.
My mom pointed out that he looks like Crocodile Dundee in military uniform. And all I could think about was now he's Crocodile Dundee who works for the UN.
Yeah.
That's
And
what this fucking dude looks like.
that one shot where they're panning up while he's standing
Oh,
with the drones,
God.
and he looks like a cardboard cutout because they specifically have him on a 3D backdrop in like the center of it while they're panning.
This is why you don't mix 3D and 2D like that. It looks so bad.
He
And
literally looks fake.
he's not moving either.
Yeah, he's perfectly still, which is why, again, cardboard cutout.
Even worse, he doesn't have a shadow. Everything else has a shadow, but he doesn't. They couldn't even be bothered to put a shadow in. He's not moving. It shouldn't be that hard.
Oh, and I noticed just so many because first of all, the city area that they're in looks abysmal.
It's bad.
It looks like the backdrop area, or like it just looks like a level that you'd be in an early PlayStation 2 game.
Yeah, it really does.
And you know the part where they're infiltrating the mansion and she's shimmying through the grass? The mansion has no texture details. It is just it's only on screen for like a second, but the mansion is just the base white frame outline of what the mansion model would be.
Good God.
There's no tiles or anything on it. There's no color. It's just a solid, just gray outline of the building.
It's bad. Also, hey, this episode is where they get all the footage for the OP.
Yeah.
Literally all of it comes from
Yeah,
this
I noticed that too.
episode.
I'm like, oh, this wasn't just random shots that they put together. This was the actual scene they used. They like pull it directly from that.
They didn't even bother to cut it up. They just put that whole section in there.
Yeah, they put the sequence in as it was.
Guys, that's lazy, which I guess shouldn't surprise us because everything about this show is lazy.
And then the plot gets real weird this episode too. This was the one I was actually paying attention to the plot. So there's some African warlord president, and he, as they say when they bring it up, he is the president cum dictator.
Yes.
That's his title, the president cum dictator.
I don't know what that means.
Also, for a president of an African country, everybody there was like white.
Of course. We get all the African stereotypes in this episode. We've got Crocodile Dundee, who works for the UN. We've got a white android maid who works for the bad guy. And we get a Japanese fox-faced businessman. You know, all the African stereotypes.
Well, he's not from Africa or anything.
Oh yeah,
I'm specifically talking about the people that got like the genocide. They're all white people.
Oh,
like the heads, and I'm like, they're all from that country. But I'm like, this is an African country.
I mean,
and for some reason, the Japanese took him in, and they're like, why would they take in a guy that did a genocide? But they're like, because the U.S. wanted us to. It
doesn't make sense.
He has no power anymore. He's like evicted from his own country. Why would you bother keeping him? Also, he did a genocide.
He did a genocide by
making people's heads teleport away.
Yeah, they teleport people's heads away, and then they plan on using the heads as models for android faces, and it's like, how the fuck is no one supposed to notice that?
I just love when they were showing the footage of the genocide, and then it shows like it's like, oh no, they're shining very bright flashlights on them.
It looks bad.
Because you know what I don't think they have the ability to do that. Just remove the head of the model. Or not easily do it.
Not in under 5 minutes, like they would need to be able to do it.
And for some reason they go to see the arms dealer guy. And they're like, they go to see him, even though they know he's after the same thing as them, just to let him know that they were after the same thing. And of course he's not going to talk. And so basically all they did was just cause him to alert the other people.
It's not a well thought out plan.
No. And then after, when they're doing the big fight and stuff where she shows up in the big robot and shoots the rockets, they move at slow motion. That's not how rockets work. They're like running faster than it.
Yes. Yes. Like I got nothing. Just
Oh, and
yeah, that's how
you
it
know what else
is.
I noticed this episode? So at first, when they're infiltrating the place, like their mansion is full of fog.
Yeah, I noticed that too.
The fog I thought was just an effect added to the space they're in, like just added into like the 3D space.
No,
No,
it's
it's on the camera, like the shot, so it moves with the camera.
yeah, it's literally just a filter effect they put
Yeah,
on
it's a
the
filter. They just
stream.
threw it in like After Effects or something, and then just like basic fog filter, and then just had it go with the camera.
I genuinely don't understand a lot of the choices. Like why is it
Apparently, the
foggy?
director has never worked with animation before. But I'm going to take it a step further. I don't think the director has seen animation before.
I don't think the director has directed before. Like,
Even better.
cause
I
like
don't think the director has directed before, and he's never seen animation or a movie or people.
I don't think this director is a person. I think they just used AI Dungeon.
Oh, I was blown away this episode.
They
Akira
oh my
had
god.
his eyebrows frown this episode. I
They
was like,
did it,
whoa,
guys.
that almost looked like an emotion right there.
They almost had it.
There's just so many awkward cutaways where it's him and Alma talking, and it's just the two of them with their deadpan faces just staring as they speak.
It
And
looks
it's just
so
so
bad.
uncomfortable to watch.
I can understand having Alma have a deadpan face because she's supposed to be an
Yeah, she's a robot,
emotionless
but
android.
everybody else is just like,
Everybody
yeah.
else is people. I missed the part where they said that the maid was an android at first. So I had trouble telling whether or not she was an android because I was like, I don't know if she's supposed to be this wooden or if she just is. So it's
That's the
both.
thing with because every character is essentially an android
Yeah.
because they have no reaction to anything, so we can not tell whatsoever.
What if that's the twist? What if everyone is androids?
Now, because they're all expressive in the original manga, which is, I feel bad if you're a big fan of this series.
Oh, definitely. You got screwed.
Even now, like I'm looking at it, and like the basic premise of it's not bad, like the story and all that.
It's not. It's kind of
Because
like Ghost in the Shell.
because here's the thing: next week we know that robot in the trailer and stuff, that's him, so he doesn't have to keep taking over the girl's body now.
Yeah, Ogre.
Yeah, he has now his own robot suit. Which if this was any other show, I'd be like, hey, that's pretty cool, that's hype. But now I'm just like, how awkwardly is this thing gonna move?
Probably very. I will say, however, I will give one credit point to X-Arm, and that's in the OP at least. The ogre suit looks like the best model in the entire show.
Probably
Like
because it doesn't have like a person's face to fuck up.
Exactly. It's just like a cool robot suit. So, congratulations. You have exactly one model that's not totally scuffed. You did it.
One model out of all the other ones, and then the
Out
2D
of
people. Even still, we get a flashback to the brother because he's like, man,
oh,
I give up. What do I do? Akira, put one foot forward. That's right.
maybe,
That one thing.
maybe it's time to put your best foot forward. That's what
So
my brother told me before I got hit by that truck. It's done so well for me so far.
what
God
a mess.
damn. Just a disaster.
You know it's not a disaster? Dr. Stone. So they convince someone to join their side by essentially saying, we have the only CD. And you know what? If I was in the Stone world, I'd be like, that's a pretty good selling point.
Yeah, they lucked out because at first they tried to fool her with the hey, we America's fine thing.
America des.
Ohio, America desu. But turns out they ran across a super fan of the singer that Gen impersonates,
And she's
and
got
she
that one
figures it out.
song.
That one song. And I like how Senku's honesty doesn't like totally sink him.
I got
'Cause-
sad the other day because I remembered something. You know that we had a flashback to Byakuya recently?
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, we're probably not going to get any like more Byakuya flashbacks, or at least ones with like dialogue or anything in it, because his Seiyu, his voice actor, died last year.
No way.
Yeah, he died last year.
That's so tragic. That guy
Yeah.
was awesome. Man, that is sad.
Yeah, he was in a lot of stuff.
He really was. But
He just recently was in the Final Fantasy remake.
Who'd he play?
I never played the original Final Fantasy. It's the guy with the red hair and like the goggles. I think he's one of the bad guys.
Fuck. I can picture him now, but I can't remember his name. Hojo?
I don't think that's his name, but yeah, I don't remember because I didn't play. I know what he looks like. I just don't remember the character's name because I never played Final Fantasy VII.
It's been a long time.
He was in Hunter x Hunter.
As?
I think you pronounce it Leorio. Leo.
Oh yeah, Leorio.
Leorio, yeah. He was Leorio.
Leorio is great.
But yeah.
He's just a guy with a briefcase who wants to be a doctor.
That was probably one of his most famous characters, just because Hunter x Hunter is really popular.
Hunter x Hunter's pretty good.
I thought it was cool, but I'm not that into shonen, so it's kind of hard for me to get like, to really want to go the extra mile with it.
Yeah, it's like even I got to a point and I just haven't gone back to it. Cause like, I don't know. There's other stuff I could watch. I could be watching Dr. Stone. I like Dr. Stone.
But yeah, that's what they do this episode. They try to fake it because Senku needs someone in on the inside, which they decide they're like, it could be anybody. And I do like the trust between Senku and Taiju, where he tells Taiju to go and just find somebody, and he doesn't need to know the full situation just to basically be his dumb self and just go get somebody. And everyone's like, whoa, why would he do that? You're like, that doesn't sound like you sound like, you're treating him like an idiot or something. But Taiju's like, no, Senku, this is going to make it so no one dies, right? Senku's like, yeah. And then Taiju knows immediately he can trust him because they're the bests of bros. And they got that mutual trust and respect.
Taiju is the ultimate bro, and I love him.
But yeah, and apparently they know they've been followed the whole time, so they just grab her, and she gives them the fan quiz thing, and then we get the whole thing with how smart Senku is, which is stuff that just a normal person would never be able to do. Where she goes, all right, if you're really the Lillian, what's her name? How many records have you sold? And they're like, oh man, I have no idea. But Senku's like, no, we can guesstimate this.
Yeah, because I love how Gen is like, we've got 3 options. We could guess, we could say we don't remember, or we could get upset about it. And Senku's like, or the 4th option, we guess it correctly. And then he uses some reverse engineering math stuff to figure out a reasonable approximation.
Yeah, he's just like, average record sales around this time period were this, and this. You needed about this much money in order to afford a seat on the space station, which would mean you would need to have sold this much.
So approximately 60 million at least.
And he's right.
And then he gets a little bit too right, because she asks what her dimensions are. And Senku gets it a little bit too right, and she's like, Lillian would never tell a true fan her real proportions.
You guys are liars. Lying. But he is able to convince them because he's like, yeah, but he plays the record. And then we find out that she was a huge super fan, didn't have a lot of friends, and basically found comfort in music.
As a lot of people do.
And then she is really happy to hear it, and she asked if he can bring back all of her other music. And Gen's even like, oh yeah, just lie and say we can. He's like, nope, 100% impossible. All of those have completely turned to dust and are unsalvageable.
That stuff is Gonzo McGonzo pants.
But he's going to protect this one with his life. So if she really cares about that record, they're on the same side.
And she agrees. She's down with it.
You can have it after. There's some weird part at the beginning where my dad is talking to me, but just don't listen to that part.
Yeah, just skip the heartfelt message from my father and just go straight to the song. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
But yeah, she joins the party.
Yeah. We get Nikki the guard.
And they shout a lot.
They shout a lot.
Oh, and the B team is getting chased down by the guy with the big ears.
Yeah. We get a scene where Chrome does some of his own sciencing. He figures out that
it's a smoke bomb.
Yeah. He connects the two poles of the battery with a wire and then throws it into this like dry grass to start a smoky fire.
Yeah, this part actually kind of like bothered me just because what they need to do is make a distraction so Gen can get back because they need him to do the voice impression. But Gen gets back almost instantly when in the other episodes this made it look like a 2 or 3 day trip.
Yeah, that kind of bothered me a little bit as well.
Like, wow, he ran really fast.
Turns out Gen can run like freaking Usain Bolt. He doesn't care. I don't know. I got nothing.
But again, it was still fine.
Yeah.
Dr.
It's
Stone
not too
is
bad.
A chill show. Also,
it's a cool
banger show. OP and ED. Why has Dr. Stone always got the banger OPs?
Whoever does the music choices for Dr. Stone they're not making enough money. They need a raise because they're doing a great job. Faux realsies.
Faux show, as my friend Lenny Lebowski would say.
That's true. That is what Lenny Lebowski would say. I was just talking to him and he dropped that little banger catchphrase on me.
Faux show.
You still got it, Lenny Lebowski. Lenny Lebowski. Cool J.
So I want to talk about Higurashi. I really want to talk about Higurashi.
Fuck. Holy fuck.
Rika, so my machinations have been exposed and my carefully laid plans now bare. But, have you heard of Gun?
Rika doesn't have a single thing to worry about from Satoko and her gun, and do you know why? Because it's just a Makarov.
Yeah, I was going to make a Makarov reference where, don't worry, it's just a Makarov. That thing can't even pierce the frontal lobe of your skull.
I've been holding that in since I watched the episode. I was like, don't worry though, it's fine. It's just a Makarov.
So yeah, in a way,
we called it.
In a way, not that surprising, but still, like, come on, man, that's Satoko. Why is she bad now? She was not bad. She was not bad. She was not bad 10 years ago.
She was not bad. Why would you do this,
Ryushiki? Ryushiki, why would you do this? Why, Ryushiki?
I don't know. But
yeah, so also they show at the parts with from the other series, because again, you never got to Rei, but the part where she's like asking Satoko, which one was white broccoli or cauliflower, which one was green, and then she shoots her. That's from the original one. That's the episode in the original one where it's revealed that Takano is the bad guy of the plot. Except in this one, she turns herself over immediately.
Because the good military shows up.
Yeah, because Tomitake was always one of the good guys, but of course, in every timeline, he finds out that that basically all the guys in the military are bad, and he basically does I'm gonna expose you guys, and then they inject him with L5 Hinamizawa syndrome, and he always kills himself.
Because that's the dumbest thing to do.
Yeah.
If
But
you ever figure out that someone is doing a big evil plot, don't tell them. Just go expose them. Just leave.
Also, don't tell them in a group setting.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, all you big buff military dudes. I'm gonna betray you guys because you're doing the wrong thing. See you later.
See you later, losers.
But yeah, this one, she wants to turn herself in right away, which gets all the bad guys arrested, like Okanogi, who him and his construction front in town get raided by the Bloodhounds, which is Tomitake's guys. So the good military guys show up and arrest all the bad ones.
Yay!
And Rika realized the world here is going perfectly. Absolutely perfectly.
It's a little sus.
It is sus. But she decides to just be like, well, I guess I don't have control over the dice anymore. It's like someone else is just rolling them, and they're just getting perfect sixes every time.
Huh.
But she decides for what she wants to do is she wants to throw a little party for Satoko, and then they all go to celebrate her birthday, and Rika's going to give her a present, but it's a present in the same box with that boxing glove punch that was from one of the first few episodes.
Yep.
And then Satoko immediately has a visceral reaction to it, being like, oh no, that thing I clearly remember. Look at how much pain it causes me to remember that prank that one time.
It didn't even seem like that bad of a prank.
No, but of course, after she does that, Rika's like, how did you know?
And then Satoko draws a fucking gun.
At first she says like, oh, well, I'm just a prank master. I can spot a prank from a mile away. And then Rika just quietly takes the box over to the desk and then removes the top, and you just see it's a teddy bear. And she says, it was a prank up until yesterday.
And then I decided to change it.
And then she switches to her Birkenstall voice and is like, so tell me, how did you know? Now, there are so many other ways this situation could have been handled. But yeah, so she draws a gun on her, and that's where the episode ends.
And her eyes get all super crazy, like red.
So, which basically confirms Satoko's a time looper. Also, there's a part earlier in the episode where they're going through Dr. Irei's clinic, and the military guys take out a suitcase, and he specifically goes out of his way to point out, that's the L5 Hinamizawa syndrome syringes. If you inject someone with those, they would automatically become L5. I thought these were supposed to be destroyed.
Yeah, he does give us
like
a little
this
bit of
must
helpful...
be why all those characters were going crazy who never go crazy before.
I knew that, and I never finished the original run.
I didn't need you to tell me that that was a thing. I already knew that those were a thing from the original, because that's what happened to Tomitake every time.
We appreciate the exposition, but it was very unnecessary.
I didn't need another reason to or any other reason to suspect why Oishi decided to save Hinamizawa.
Yeah.
Furude-san, I solved the mystery.
He
Can't have murderers without anyone left to murder.
He actually figured it out.
But yeah, you know what Satoko should have done in that situation?
Literally anything else?
She could have totally played it off like Keiichi, like wow, that was a weird deja vu moment. Because you know how Keiichi had that, so like it's not that impossible to have.
Yeah, he's had it a couple times.
Yeah, he's had it multiple times.
Yeah, literally just do anything else. Pulling a gun and being like, I guess you've discovered my evil plan is probably not the best way to go. I was thinking about it, and like, how fucking confusing would that situation be? Like, you're all getting together to celebrate your like middle school friend's birthday,
Yeah,
and
for the they
all of
both
a sudden, like one of them puts the box down and is like, "How did you know this one was a prank?" And then your little friend pulls out a fucking gun and is like, "I guess you figured out my plan." How do you what?
they changed the promotional material, and where Satoko now has like a wicked grin on her face in all of them, and it's like one of the reasons, like, oh yeah, in the previous one where Akasaka became the crazy one and the house blew up, Satoko was the only one we didn't see the reaction of. But if we didn't see her reaction, does that mean she was just standing out there with a big smile? Like, imagine just like you're watching just like your friend die in a fire after like a crazy man murders her, and then you just turn and one of them has just a big grin on their face, or just more of like a satisfied like, yes.
Job well done,
I'd be like,
gentlemen.
hey, buddy. Yeah, that doesn't look like the proper reaction, pal. You look a little like you just watched the fruits of your labors and it all fall into place.
Hey, bud.
You look a little too happy about this.
That's a crazy murderer face you got there, bud. You doing
That's the
okay?
face of someone who stacked the deck of cards that they've just watched tumble.
You doing all right there, bud? Oh, yes. I'm doing wonderfully. All right.
Okay, pal. Anyway, I have to go and spawn Camp Rika next.
Oh,
And that's what she does in the next one. She spawn camps her and then consistently stabs her in the gut with a hoe.
that is what happens. She does spawn camper.
And then
See,
she
what I
scratches
want to
her neck a
know
little bit just to make it look like she has Hanamizawa syndrome.
exactly. She tried to fake it. And if you're gonna like put yourself through that to fake it, pulling out your gun at the slightest inconvenience in the best timeline seems a little irresponsible.
Yeah. But there's two ways I think this could play out. It is a gun, or it's a fake gun, like a pellet gun or a water gun or something, and she just kind of plays it off like a laugh, but it's kind of one of those like everyone around us doesn't know, but you know, and I know.
And
So what
I
are we
know
gonna
where
do
you
about that?
spawn.
Yeah, I know where you spawn.
I'm curious. I want to see how this all shakes out.
Or she kills her and just puts her in a bunch of bad loops again.
Oh, that would be pretty miserable.
Or instead, she's like, instead, I'm gonna spawn camp you because we have the same spawn.
It's just time loops of them trying to kill each other at the spawn.
Like nothing happens in any of these timelines. Like if you're Keiichi, it's just like, hey, yeah, there was an incident at the at Rika and Satoko's house. Both of them just killed each other, it looks like. And just multiple timelines of that happening.
That would suck. That'd be it sucks to be Keiichi in that situation.
Yeah, because he's gonna be so confused.
Why did they just kill each other? Everything was fine up until this one day. I don't know. I wonder if it's going to be a race to the sword. Well, the fragment of the sword.
Well, Rika, yeah, I don't think Satoko knows about that.
Probably not.
Because she would have done something with it, like removed it or something.
Maybe she did. Because I don't think Rika's checked on it yet.
I don't even think she has any idea it exists.
Oh.
So we'll see what happens. So it's like she spawns, and then she goes out and has to go get the thing, and then go stab her with the thing. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. We'll see what's up.
But stick
I'm looking
around for
forward
that
to it.
because I'm excited for it.
Me too. This show's cool.
Yeah. Ian, take us away.
Murder. If you want to stay tuned on our reactions to either losing our fucking minds over whatever monstrosity they put in X-Arm, Or if you're looking forward to seeing us wrap up the mystery of Higurashi, like and subscribe, like the video and subscribe to the YouTube channel if you're watching on YouTube. Like, subscribe, leave reviews, comments everywhere else. YouTube too, you can leave comments. We always love those. If you want to follow us on social media, we're on Twitter and Facebook at Protagonist Seat. We like to keep it easy. Alex posts some fire stuff on our Twitter, so I would heartily recommend following us there. I believe that's it. Our amazing OP is done by Popskyy, as always. Class dismissed.
Bye-bye.